I didn't even hear your Marcus say go. But I do believe it's meant to be. It's meant to be. So even when you don't think you're ready, you're ready. Which I feel pretty good today, honestly. I woke up feeling kind of numb. Like, not a bad numb, but a numb in the form of feeling like you're somewhere else, but you wake up and you somewhere else, if that makes sense. Like a dream state, if that makes sense. Then I got up, had some delicious breakfast. I had strawberries, a banana, and a Reese cup. It was delicious. I like eating like that. Gotta stay balanced. And to me, that's a fine balance, if you ask me. But there's an exchange that's happening, which for me is going with the tooth, the communication. Something's being exchanged between two people, and they're using the Holy Spirit to help assist, which goes with the angel. But there's definitely communication happening. And these snakes are getting my attention. That's up here. That's wrapped around like this. I got this symbol on my back. It's a health symbol. But that seems to be really important as into what's getting exchanged. So you need to maybe pay attention to that. The High Priestess card came out. You have to use your intuition. That word is a tricky word to me. It's nothing but guidance. It's Holy Spirit. Your intuition is Holy Spirit. It's just, do you want the guidance or you don't? You don't have to listen to it, but it's naturally there. But when you listen to it, you will get the guidance you need. When you don't, then hey, that's your free wills, which is a slowdown. But, you know, everything always plays out the way it needs to regardless. That's the intriguing part to me. It's just apparently you need to learn some more lessons, if that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. I do say that a lot, if it makes sense, but if it don't, you're not there yet. You haven't experienced that lesson yet. You haven't got to that part of the maze yet. But this is definitely working with divine, so you got to be close or you already at that part of the maze. This is clear love. We got the angel assistance, and we got the clear stone, which working with the divine realm and the hair realm. I'm gonna put these stones right up under here really quick. I usually have them on the table right up under the cards, but I was trying to do something a little fancy just to see how to set up. I like trying little different things to keep things a little fun, but this actually helps me when it comes to the balance of making sure everything is confirmation, which it pretty much is, as into the High Priestess, using your intuition, which to me that's Holy Spirit, which is having communication. There's definitely communication in that area. And for a quick, throw out, the moon has been out a lot lately. Was it yesterday? The day before yesterday, I enjoyed a whole bunch. I wasn't expecting it, but I got in the shower and I looked out the window and the moon was right there. And I was already having how can I explain this? I want to say like an unsettling feeling. Like, how you feeling something, but you just wondering, like, why am I feeling this way? Like, where is this coming from? And then I look out the window and the moon is right there, giving that straight download. which is just, that's that communication that a lot of people sometimes stay away from, because it's like, where is this coming from? Your intuition is Holy Spirit, because it's naturally within you. What is it, Hunter?
Commercial time.
You want to give me a commercial break? Okay, that's fine. Let me get one more part out really quick on. If it one word come out, I might just have to hit that commercial break and then proceed, huh? Well, you asked for a commercial break. Come on. Oh, they're going to part two. How about that? How about that? The Emperor. Ooh, and you're working on something. That's awesome.
This is today. Today.
That's super awesome. Handsome, I need a minute. Give me a second really quick. Ooh. That's super awesome. Do a little dance. Ha. That's super awesome. This is marriage based for sure. Like a very, very strong partnership for sure. And y'all having communication, but it's happening from a distance. Or you will, but it's being offered. And I say that because an exchange is happening. And it's a cup being offered. Like something's being offered at that moment of that communication. But you're working on it from a distance. This is not close business. This is distance. And you're manifesting. And you have the Emperor on one side, and you have the Queen of Wands on the other side. These are two powerful peoples for sure. And the Emperor seems to be the one that's working on it. And then the Queen of Swords is using the intuition. Not the intuition. It's hard to explain when you get to have to talk in kind of a third party, I would say, because you're dealing with Holy Spirit. Definitely when Holy Spirit lives within us also. Like we are angels. You know, angels are not just the things we think about in the sky. We are angels because Holy Spirit dwells within us. And when I say things like that, it's like your spouse could be your God once you come together. Y'all will have that guidance to make you guys one. And it seems like that energy. What made it a little confusing was like, with your spouse being your emperor, it's like, as I said, he becomes your God, but it's like, there is somebody that y'all naturally gravitate to, but it's in the both of you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But this is awesome, because there's communication happening. And I want to say about that. That's definitely what it is. It's being offered. It's right up under it. One of you may be spiritual and the other one may not be, but they're strong in another aspect. But I'm not believing that these are both people, two people who started off spiritually, if that makes sense. I had to put the little bunny ears, whatever that's supposed to mean, you know. Supposedly. But yeah, one definitely full blown. And the other one, yeah, they're working on it. They're not, your spouse is not spiritual. They may think you're crazy, honestly. But they're working on it. That's definitely what that is. We come over to our bonus cards. But this is nice to know, honestly. Oh, how awesome. Jesus Christ. I be loving when things just be so perfect. And this is perfect. But I'm stuck in the middle. The middle is right here. The middle is where it's at right now. And the outside is like your spouse and you. One spiritual, one working on it. And your spouse is clear love. You are the communicator. Like, it's so intriguing. And then in the middle is the angel, which is the communication that's happening, that's being brought to you guys. And there go the cups too, right there, exchanging of information. What are you guys talking about? Oh, Jesus. That's so awesome to me. What are you guys talking about? What would I say? Have you gotten any of my messages? Do you see signs everywhere of things that we talk about? Do I seem like I could be found anywhere? There's always something there to remind me. Like one of those. It definitely should be that, if at that level. Hairstyles, favorite colors, things like to eat, smells, songs, numbers. You should find them everywhere. And the card flipped over. I want that one. A plus definitely have for sure. That's awesome. The queen. 2. You definitely understand. There's definitely a balance. And the 10 confirms it. Change perspective. Light and dark situation. Well, these are a lot of hearts too. This is love, love, love. Stop. Perfect. Oh, man. My brain is such a quick machine. I tell you no lie. That's why I normally naturally move fast. Sometimes it seems like it's a downfall a little bit. And I say that only because a lot of times I do things too fast and I forget that I do it because I've done it so fast. Or I wind up having to lap myself too many times, if that makes sense. Like lately I ain't been posting that much because I've lapped myself so many times. It's like I'm repeating myself, but in a different form because there's so many aspects of the same thing because of generational non-fixing of things, if that makes sense. Ah, the queen and the king again. This is a beautiful balance. The king. Hello, emperor. There is a balance. The queen. Gotta change perspective. I said, gotta change perspective. Something gotta change perspective on. The 2, there's definitely communication happening. It's back and forth. It's not one way. In a light and dark situation. What have to change perspective on? I think I'm gonna grab tarot for that. These all love. The balance is the 10, and it came out with the love symbol. Change of perspective got the love symbol, and the queen got the love symbol. The king got the symbol of back and forth communication, understanding it, recognizing it. And then the light and dark situation got the love symbol. So this is a lot of love. But I want to see what we can see about changing the perspective. But that's interesting to me. Like, I'm not sure. There's a lot of things I could, I guess, change my perspective on. But it's like, I have such an open mind that it's like, do I need to close it or something? Uh-oh. That's the end of the world then. Like, man. And I'm getting a little juggle, but seriously, like, close my mind. Yeah, that's dead. But even when the flesh die, energy continues. So it's like, that's just, man. We gonna see though. Because I'm not seeing it right now. Or maybe later on, well, that might just be something that I have to be a lesson that I might have to stumble into. Which ain't ever fun to do, but sometimes it's always beneficial, but when you just have to run into something, it's like, oh man, you know, working on something. That's what it is. You got to change your perspective on your spouse who's not understanding this spiritual journey at the moment. Which that's kind of understandable. I naturally think that way. It goes with a lot of grace, pretty much. Grace and mercy has a lot on there because it's like they're not there yet. You can't force them because even like I tell my son, certain things I say to him, I know it's beneficial. And I feel he knows it's beneficial, but sometimes he got to stumble across his own lessons. There's nothing that I can do to forward it up for him. He have to learn some things so he will naturally have his own growth. I can't force it on him. And it seems like that same energy when it comes to your spouse. And you gotta change your perspective on it. So instead of getting mad with them, look at it from their perspective or something, I'm guessing. Like, because that's the same thing right here that came out for the spouse. And so they're working on it. That they're trying to understand, or they're going to. And then for you changing your perspective is the same thing. You got to work on it. Which I guess that's fair. Nobody, this spiritual journey, I realize people expect you to be a perfect machine. I learned that when I first entered into faith walking, honestly, and going to church and the way I would show up. I really took that saying, come as you are. I would wake up in my pajamas and go straight to the building, sit right in the front, and I felt the energy as into, I should feel ashamed of myself for showing up like this, but it's like, this was the first place I wanted to be when I woke up, and you guys are stuck on the way I look. Like, that's a definition of your eyes can blind you. Your eyes can become poison when you only hear for your ears. Like, it's a feeling. You are here to hear a message, and you letting your eyes blind you. That's foolery. But, we all got growth. We all got to learn. Even my little wonderful faith ones. But I do understand why a person like me has to be outside the building to bring awareness that it's okay to go to the building, but certain things you do have to start on the outside first. Sometimes people say inside work, but I tried that. I went to the building because it's like I felt like that's where I needed to be, around people with that type of energy. But I actually got told I'm needed out here, and I actually see it to be true because they're not welcome in the way they're supposed to be. So it's both ways. You have to work on the inside and you have to work on the outside, because when you letting your eyes poison you from somebody who wants to be here, like I didn't go sit in the back row. I came my first day there, I went straight to the first freaking row. And every time I go there, I always sit maybe in the fourth row now, because I realize the pastor and his wife sit up front. I sit in their spot. I'm in the building, you know, like very important people sit in the front. But besides that, I understand when it comes to having to work on things, nobody's perfect. That is the part of life and learning, you know, growth. If there was no need to grow, then, as I said before, the world has really ended, you know, like, ended, you know. But luckily for us, it ain't gonna ever end because you get to learn every day. Ain't that awesome? I give myself chuckles. See, I'm thinking now that I said that, because I got one of the minds that's like, once I hear myself say something, another thought come up. You know, I come up with a really quick explanation for the solution. And it's like, even if we were to get bombed or something, you know, and we got wiped out, there's still a way to continue. Because I'm sure there's things up under the ground or somewhere else where it can continue again. I'm 1,000% sure of that. So it's like, as I said before, there's always something to learn. Like, growth is always going to continue. So, yeah. I feel like that was an important thing to say because I have gotten to the point a little bit where I have thought about that a few times. Definitely when people know to do right, but they purposely want to do wrong. And it's just like, sometimes do it seem easier just to wipe everything out and start over. Like, in the beginning, you know. Like, death is something that don't scare me. It's not like I'm in a rush, like, ooh, I just want to go, you know, die today. But it's just like, it's not as scary as what people think of it, you know. Definitely with me entering in, well, not entering into, it seems like I've always been a spiritual person. It's just, I never had nobody tell me in depth what it is. It always come off as something bad, evil. But I always knew things, as I said before. Like, I always knew what time it was, what would be going on. I kind of forgot what I was about to say a little bit, honestly, but it's really hard for me to say, since I became a faith walker, I just would say, since I accepted guidance, I want guidance. I became a faith walker, I'm going to leave it that way. It's hard for me to be afraid of the unseen when that's my work, you know, like, I know that it continues, you know. And even recently with my brother passing away, I felt his energy so well, it made no sense, like, so well. And it's just funny because years before, I felt that same exact energy that happened to him. Like, it was years ago. Like, he came up missing for a while, and it's like, I have no clue where he's at. Like, we don't talk every day, but certain people, they pop up at some point in time, you know. It's just like, but you ain't been around, you know. And some months went by, I still ain't heard from him. But then when he actually did pass away, it was months before somebody found him. Like, he really was dead for a long time before somebody realized that he was missing. Like, I think that type of stuff is just so intriguing to me. You know, it's more into detail, but I don't want to get in talking to because I don't want to get to crying and stuff, but it's not bad. It's just, I really did feel his energy calling out to me, telling me where he was at. Like, and it just was weird because I had no clue. But I could paint it out now that I know how to do it. I could have painted out where he was at. And it's like that same energy as to how I just do things, you know. Like, I feel him so well. What's wrong with you? My Sunny boy was up there yelling about something, but before I went down the street, what I'm getting at is, once he passed away, once I realized that he really was gone, I did do my cards and stuff, and he was unsettled. Like, you know how people can't wait to get to heaven, you know? He seemed like in that type of energy, as into not believing that he was on the other side. Like, sometimes people can't wait to get there, but when they get there, they want to be back here. And that is the same energy. Eventually he became okay with it. He realized where he can help assist that. But it's just so interesting to actually experience that as into somebody wanting something so bad, but when they get there, it's just like, I can't believe it. You can't do the natural things that you want to do. You can't naturally just say hey to somebody, or hug them, or things of that nature. People don't really recognize you no more. It's like they think you're gone. I think that's the most painfulest part. I think when you're on the other side and you have all these people that say they love you, but when you try to get their attention by, I don't know, like for me, this jacket right here would definitely remind me of my brother, because he used to be a really flashy individual, or just certain expressions I have on my face will remind me of him, just because he always calls me out on it. Like, if I look a certain way, he said, "Oh, you got that sneaky look going on," or things of that nature, But I feel like I'm on reminiscence. What are his little faces up to? But he's able to help assist because we really have a connection. I would not ignore his guidance. And I feel like a lot of other people, when they have loved ones that pass away, they forget about them. And it's just like, they can help assist you. Yeah, they're going to return back. It's just, will you miss it because you're not paying attention? Did you really not love them? That's why that word, it get abused so much. It really does. Like, it continues in the after. It's just, will you pay attention to it? Did you pay attention to them while they was here, so you would know how to pay attention to them when they come back? Okay, and I kind of went down this road, but I think that was all beneficial to know for sure. Which I do miss my brother a whole bunch, even though I already know he's with me. It's just still mind-boggling to me that is something that I've heard about, but experiencing it is just crazy to me. Your happiness is intertwined with your outlook on life. That's a very true statement. Pursue your work with all seriousness. Pursue your work with all seriousness. Put your whole foot in, love wholeheartedly. Don't do that half stuff. And your outlook, what to say? Your happiness is intertwined with your outlook on life. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. I would say that for sure. Which, to me, that's just being more understanding. And sometimes I think that everybody think like me. That's one of my situations where I think everybody think like me. Then I realize, like, no, man. No. And it's kind of funny because that's something my ex used to tell me all the time. He's like, I don't think like you. And I'm just like, then what you with me for then? Something that I learned now. I feel like my spouse should just naturally know what time it is. No, they're not going to know everything, but it's like, but, you live and you learn. I think that's everything. I think this was a very nice translation, I must say. So remember, be kind. You are a reflection.